Hello and welcome to our video Google Tips and Tricks. My name is Corinne Kelly and I'm an educational consultant for SOIDA, one of the state ed techs in Ohio. If you have any questions about anything talked about in this video, please feel free to email me at Corinne, C-A-R-Y-N, @soida.org, and I'd be happy to chat with you and answer all of your questions. If you're planning on receiving a certificate of attendance for watching this video, please head over to ohioedtechs.org and fill out the form provided. You'll need the title of this video and you'll need this code, GTIP, G-T-I-P, all caps. Put that in along with your email address and then you'll receive a certificate of attendance for this program. Okay? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take you all over the place and show you all of my favorite tips and tricks and features for Google that make my life and hopefully your life just a little bit easier. And we're actually going to start with Google search. All right. So I'm going to go over to google.com and show you a couple things. So first of all, there's a voice search here, and if you're using a computer or a Chromebook that has a mic, you can always do that. Abraham Lincoln.
According to Wikipedia, Abraham Lincoln was an American statesman and lawyer who served as the 16th President of the United States.
Okay, and she felt like she needed to give me a little extra information there. So it will run that search for you right there. You have over here different searches, okay? So right now I'm searching everything. I'm searching the web. I'm getting websites. I'm getting images. I'm getting all kinds of stuff, okay? So I have my quick facts right here. Related searches that other people search for. I can go in here to images. Image search is actually a really powerful tool. When you come in here, you're going to see what I got when I searched initially, and then you're going to get related searches to kind of refine. And then you can go into tools if you needed a large image or a small image of Abraham Lincoln. You can also do, one that has a little blue in it. Well, now I've got a bunch of vampire hunter stuff, but that's okay. Or some that has some red in it. Okay, so you can kind of or not, any color. So you can kind of play around with that if you're looking for something that you can to use for a specific purpose. You can also look for black and white. There are usage rights right here. So if you're looking for something that's for something other than personal use, you definitely want to come in here and search for something that's labeled for reuse or reuse with modification or non-commercial reuse with modification. You'll be able to come in here and do that. And then they also have type, where if you were looking for Abraham Lincoln clip art, or you were looking for a line drawing, if you're looking for coloring sheets, line drawing is the one you want if you're ever looking for a coloring sheet of something. You can use those tools here. Okay, so there's images, you've got news, there's also books. Books is going to search Google Books, and if you're not familiar with Google Books, that's another great tool that you have available to you. A lot of these will be previews of books that you can purchase on Google Play, but there are also, some of them you'll also see that you are able to read them. So if it's something that's out of copyright that's been scanned in, you'll be able to read the entire book. So that's a really nice feature. And then there's also videos, maps, flights, all kinds of stuff. Google search does so many great things. It can do time conversions, time in London. So right now it's 5:34 in London, okay? It can do, it can do math. So I can say square root of, 45. And then it's going to pull up my calculator here. It can do conversions. I can say 5 tablespoons to cups. And then once you get a conversion open, you can convert all kinds of things, energy, frequency, mass, different measurements, measurements of volume and length and distance and all kinds of great stuff. It does so many cool things. You can do earthquake, and it will show you the most recent earthquakes. It does all kinds of stuff. It used to do a barrel roll thing that's apparently not doing anymore, where it would roll over. So Google Search has all these great features that you can utilize. Some of my favorite search features, however, are actually in the advanced search. So sometimes when I'm looking for something, I'm looking for a specific file type, or I'm searching within a specific website. So you can do that with the advanced search. I'm going to search, we'll stick with Abraham Lincoln. He's usually a safe search, right? And if I go to settings and choose advanced search, I'm able to come in here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a little better, and say, I want to search in a specific site. Maybe I want to just search biography.com. Now all of my search results are from biography.com, which is pretty cool. Let me go back into advanced search. We'll clear that out. Maybe I'm looking for a PDF about Abraham Lincoln. I can go down to file type and choose PDF or PowerPoint or a video. You can do all kinds of great stuff. Now I've got all these PDFs about Abraham Lincoln. This is from, okay, pretty cool, right? So I always like to start with the search because there's so many cool things that you can do just with Google Search. What I want to do now, I'm going to head over to my drive and I'm going to show you some of my favorite features in Docs and Slides. Let me head to my drive. And I'm just going to open up a doc. I'm going to open up a doc that has some stuff in it too. Okay. We'll start with the one that has some stuff in it. So maybe you know this already, maybe you don't, but one of my favorite features of Google that kind of set it apart, especially when they were first starting, was the revision history. So you can always take your Google, I'm going to get out of the way so you can see the different versions. You can always take your Google Docs kind of back in time. So if you go to File, Version History, I'm going to say See Version History. I'm going to be able to come in here and see, let's go back, way back when, before we had all this in here. There's where it started. And there's little drop downs over here so you can see the different changes within the versions. And then people that are making edits are color-coded. So I'm in purple here, and then my colleague was in green, I think. Here she is in green, where I can see what she's doing. See where she is in here. Nope, she's added some books down here. So you can see all those different versions. So this is really nice when you're working with other people or even on your own and you've done something and you don't know what you did and undo's not working. You can go back using the revision history or the version history. You are able to restore versions. You're able to see kind of the growth of a document. You can also name versions, and if you are working, maybe you're taking a class or you're a teacher and you're teaching a class and you want people to do rough drafts, instead of having separate Google Docs for your rough draft, second draft, final draft, you can actually name your versions here. So I could go to this version and say, I'm going to name this version Draft 1, and it's going to name it. I'll name this version Final March 2020. And then you can actually, let me get out of here. You can print the different versions. You don't even have to restore it. You can print those different versions. And when I go to version history now, I can go to see version history and turn on the switch up here to only show named versions so I can quickly go between those. All right. Some other things that I like that I use frequently in Docs. You are able to download these Google Docs and other formats, including Word. PDF is the one I use frequently. EPUB, if you are wanting to have your kids publish and put it on an e-reader, some of them only take EPUBs, or a lot of them will take EPUBs. You can do that. Email attachment. Sometimes I get someone that says, hey, can you email me a PDF of this? And I'm like, well, it's a Google Doc, but if I need it in a PDF for whatever reason, I can choose email as attachment. And what this is going to let me do is select my attachment type, PDF, type in the email. It puts the title of the document there in the subject, and you type the message and then send it out. And it's going to send that email with this attached as a PDF. I didn't have to download it and then go to my mail and then upload it to my mail. I didn't have to do any of that. It just made it really easy for me to send a PDF. Another thing that you can do when you're working in a document that you have collaborators, you can go to email collaborators. So I'm working in this document and I'm like, I really need to email Kara. Instead of me going back to my email and getting it and reference this document, I can just go right here in Docs, email collaborators, and send her an email. And if I had multiple collaborators in here, there's only one in this case, I could select just the ones I needed to email and shoot her an email right from the doc. It's pretty cool. Okay. Another feature that I really like is the paint format tool. And this tool is available in Word as well. It's just a paintbrush. You see up here there's a little paint roller. Now let's say that I have decided that I want all of my author attributions to now be italicized, and maybe I want to make them like a lighter gray so they don't stand out quite so much. I don't want to have to click each one of those and then reformat all of them. I don't want to have to retype them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of my attributions the way I want, and I'm going to go up to my paint roller, my paint format, and you can do a single click if I just wanted to do this one time, but I want to do this lots of times. So I'm going to double click to turn it on, and now everywhere I highlight is going to copy the format. It's pretty cool, right? Saves me a lot of time. You can even just triple click and it'll do this whole line for me. Double click does a single word, triple click does the whole line. And then when you're done, which there's lots of these, when you're done, you just have to remember always to go back up to the paint roller and click it one time to turn it off. That's the only thing that you've got to kind of be aware of with this, is if you don't turn it off, everywhere you click just keeps formatting the way that you've been formatting things. So I'll just turn it off up here. Okay. All right. See if there's anything else I want to do while we're in this one. You know, there is a find and replace in here. So if you ever make a mistake repeatedly or you want to make a change across a whole doc, under edit you have find and replace is in here. You have your different views, and there are different modes in here as well. So if you are ever working with multiple people and you want to make suggestions, maybe some of you are home with your kids and you want to help edit, but you don't want to do their work for them, you just want to make some suggestions, you can go to suggesting mode. You can do that here under view, or also right up here where it says edit right now, I can go into suggesting mode, and then everything that I do becomes a suggestion that editors can either accept or reject. Editors and commenters can accept or reject. So if I accept it, it'll change it. If I reject it, it will take it back to the way it was. So they can do that. You can leave comments about why you're making that suggestion. It can be a nice tool. The only thing about that is always remember to go back into editing mode when you're done. All right. Okay, I'm going to go into my blank doc now and show you a couple other things I think are really useful, along with an extension that is kind of cool. Okay, so one thing that I always have people do when we do a full day training on docs, because we could spend a whole day on this, is set their default font. Okay, so I'm just going to type something in here. I'm going to spell things correctly and everything. Okay. The default font is Arial 11, and I don't know why that is. Why not Arial 12? I don't know. But there's lots of fonts to choose from. So if you go to your font list and go to more fonts, the amount of fonts are just ridiculous. You can search for something. So if someone had told you, hey, Happy Monkey is a great font. I don't know who comes up with these names, these font developers. You can search for a specific font. You can also come over here and say, I only want to see handwriting fonts, if you're looking for something fancy. Or I only want to see sans serif fonts. Okay? Or maybe you want to go sort by popularity or date added, which would be the newest stuff. They've been adding some fonts. If you find a font that you like, I'm going to see trending. I'm not so sure about these. Spicy Rice. I'm telling you, the names alone are just great. If you find a font that you like, you just click the font. It'll turn blue and check it. It'll add it to this list. Likewise, if you have a font over here you don't want, just click the X. You're able to make a curated font list that are only the fonts that you like. And this font list is going to travel with you. It's going to be here in Docs, and you're going to see it in Sheets and Slides as well. Your fonts will be everywhere, and you won't have to go find them again. Always remember when you're font shopping, like we are right now, always click OK when you're done. That saves it. If you click the X, it takes it away. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually add Spicy Rice for the sake of today. I'm going to click the blue OK button to save it, and we're going to zoom way in so I can show you what I'm doing here. So what we're going to do is I've typed something. I want to get it the way I want my default font to be. So let's find Spicy Rice, because that'll be a big difference from what we're looking at here. Ooh, and maybe I want it to be 24. Please don't make your default font Spicy Rice 24. Okay? I would never actually do this, but I'm going to show you how. All right? So you've got it the way you want. I haven't centered it or anything, because if I were to center it and then save it as my default font, everything I type when I come into a new doc will be centered. Okay? So I've got it the way I want it. I'm going to go up here to where it says normal text. These are your styles. You can set all of these, okay? Normal, title, subtitles, and 3 levels of headings. All right? I'm going to do normal text. I'm going to go over here. I'm not clicking. I clicked on this, and now I'm hovering over here. We're going to update normal text to match, and then you're going to see the next time I come in here, normal text is going to be in that Spicy Rice font. See that? And it's made the rest of them cohesive, okay? Now, if I wanted to go in here and save this, the next time I come into a document, when I start typing, I'm typing Spicy Rice 24, I'll come down to Options and Save as my default styles. So when I go into a new document, there it is. I'll go through that one more time so I can set it back the way it was. So my default font's normally Railway, because I like it. Railway 12. I went to normal text, hovered over the arrow to update normal text to match, and then I went down to options and I saved as my default styles. You can do that for all of them, and it updated all. So it's got, I'm in the Railway family here, and they are all set up, but I could make them different colors. You could make them bold, italics, whatever you want to do. You can set that up. Okay. Some things to be aware of, because we're in tips and tricks, right? You can add images in here. you've got all of your image options. You also have down here the Explore tool that lets you search the web, your drive, and for images. Let me search for good old Abe here. They know me. All right, I can search images. I'm going to pull him in here. Great. Just double click. Nope, it does not like this one. I've chosen poorly. This is going well, right? Okay. Let's go out and just find an image for today. Copy. Okay, he comes in rather large. I'm going to click on him once and I'm going to grab the little handle down here and resize him. All right, and then you've got your image menus over here, so I can make it in line with text, wrap text. You've got a margin, and I can set it where it can move with text. And then they've just added this feature. If you don't want your image moving around as you add text, you can actually fix it on a position on the page. So that's new. So you won't see that until you click and then choose your options here. And you can say size and rotation, adjustments. They've got positioning, recolor. This whole menu here you can get by selecting image options. All right. So as a single click to resize and access some of these options, and then if you wanted to crop it, there's a cropping tool up top, or you can double click to crop. See the black handles now? That lets you crop him. Okay. All right. You can add charts into your docs, either from your Google Sheets, or you can just create one and it will make a sheet that goes along with it for you. If you've already added a chart to another sheet, you can actually copy and paste it, or you can insert from sheets. And it'll prompt you whether you want it to be a dynamic chart that's linked to the data that changes as the data changes, or if you just need the image. You've got special characters and equations, which I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. And then something that's kind of cool is the table of contents that you can insert. I'm just going to do a couple things really quickly. I'm just putting some text in here just for our purposes. Okay, and I'm going to use my styles here. Now watch this. I'm going to make this a title, and I'm going to make this heading 1, and then I'm going to make this heading 2. I don't know why heading 2 is bigger. Let's do that, heading 3 maybe. I'll check this out. You can insert a table of contents with or without page numbers, and then you are actually able to jump to these sections. Also, when you're using the styles, this little pop-out is a document outline, so if I didn't actually want my table of contents, I need to move him. If I didn't actually want my table of contents in here, I can, I'm going to have to mess with that later because it's being kind of sassy. If you don't want your table of contents, you want to delete it, but you still wanted to be able to navigate, you can use the document outline to navigate within your document here. Okay? All right. And then drawings, Google Drawings is its own tool, and I could spend a whole session talking about that. But you can add a Google Drawing from your drive if you already made it, or you can link it to the drawing, to the doc that you're in, and when you double click it, you can interact with it. Equations, there is an equation editor in here. Sometimes if you're doing really basic math, it's enough for you, but for some of us it's not. If you teach math, especially higher level math, it might not be. And that's where I would recommend an extension to you called Equate.io. I'm going to go to the Google Chrome Web Store. So I'm opening a new tab, and I can't ever remember the URL, so I'm going to type in Chrome. Took us like 5 times to type that. Web Store. And I'm going to go in here. Now you have to be using Google Chrome, and you have to be signed in. And you can tell if you're signed in because if you go up here, it will show your account. Okay, you can even click on it, and it will show that you're logged in. You have to sign into Chrome separately from your Drive and your Mail and everything, okay? Because when I'm signing into Drive and Mail, I'm signing into my G Suite account. When I'm signing into Chrome, I'm signing into the browser. And if you're following on the EdTech videos, there's going to be a whole video just on Google Chrome. So if that is something you need to know more about, by all means, come in there. Equate.io, it's like equation with no N. You'll add that to Chrome, and it will be up here in your extensions, and then you'll be able to click on that, and it will open up down here. You'll be able to type advanced math, you'll be able to graph equations, you'll be able to speak your math. If this is something that you need, by all means, when you sign up for it, put that you're a teacher and you'll get the whole thing for free, okay? Normally it's a paid thing, but if you're a teacher, it's free. You've got a lot of other great tools in here. I'm going to close that. There's spelling and grammar in here. If you need even more grammar help, or if you're looking for grammar help across the board, you want grammar help in your docs, but you also want it in your emails, I suggest the extension Grammarly. The free version's great. There's a word count in here. There's voice typing. You have to have a microphone. Voice typing's awesome, period. It saves me so much work for my little fingers, exclamation point. And then I can tell it to stop. And it's giving me some suggestions. The blue, it'll give me suggestions, and then these, it'll be like, did you mean this? Because it thinks maybe it misheard, but it does an okay job. You just have to always speak your punctuation. Right? You can do translate document. It will make a copy of your document, translate in whatever language you select. And then there's all kinds of add-ons. So I mentioned a couple extensions. I mentioned Equate.io for math, Grammarly for grammar, and writing suggestions. Equate.io will give you math tools in Forms as well, and there's no native math tools in Forms, so that's really helpful. Grammarly works in email. Another one that's kind of cool is called DraftBack, and what that will do is it will actually, it's kind of cool. It's taking a minute because there's over 1,000 revisions, over 1,500 revisions of this one. Here we go. It makes like a video almost of how this document was created. So if you're a teacher or someone that wants to see the process that people went through in a document, DraftBack. It's totally cool. All right, we are nearing our time. I just want to check one more thing. Okay, we went over everything. Great. There was one more thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. Oh, customizing this. So sometimes you might not want like a typical layout. Maybe you're making a certificate or something like that, or you're wanting to make kind of like a flyer that's got a little color or something. Just know that you can go down to page setup in here, and you can change it to landscape, or you can make a different paper size if you were wanting to make like some custom invitations and print them on, oh, I don't know, like an A3, or that would be huge, wouldn't it? But like an A5 or something like that, you can make a custom size. You can even make your color, customize your background, and this is where you can adjust your margins and all that too. Look at that. Okay. All right. We covered a lot of random little tidbits. Hopefully everybody found something that's going to be helpful to them or that they're going to be excited about. If you have any questions for me or you're looking for a tip or trick or extension for something specific, you're more than welcome to email me. My email is Caryn, C-A-R-Y-N @sweta.org, and I'd be happy to help you out. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next video.